Pushback on the price of beer. Americans seem to be drinking less after mega beer companies increased their prices. Brooke DiPalma is here with the details. Brooke, nice to see you. It is perfect to talk some beer on a Friday. We're just cutting it out though, huh?
We're just
dry January, just continuing throughout the year.
Drinking a little bit less because of those higher prices that they took last quarter. Ultimately, Anheuser-Busch's fourth quarter results saw that the volume of beer sold went down by 0.9% after it took those price increases. Now, total revenue was up because of those price increases by 10.2%. But the CEO said on the call that this was just a one-off, complicated quarter, they're calling it. But let's take a closer look at just how high those prices went up across the board in Anheuser-Busch's portfolio, up more than 8%. Bud Light leading the pack there, up 8.9%. That's according to Nielsen data pulled by Bump Williams Consulting. Of course, Stella, Michelob Ultra, Budweiser also under their umbrella. But other brands also took a price hike last year. Molson Coors up 9.1%. Corona Extra up 6.5%. Now, Anheuser-Busch did say that it was lagging behind inflation throughout most of the year and catching up toward the end. They did, in fact, call this, though, a resilient category. Now, earlier this year, Yahoo Finance spoke to Bill Newland, CEO of Constellation Brands, and he said following price increases there, the company saw short-term sensitivity, but also said people will be back for beer.
It's fairly recession resistant. I mean, the consumer still looks at many of the categories in which we play as an affordable luxury. And it's a critical piece of what they do for enjoyment. So I think we are going to continue to see this be an important category that does well.
And this concept of affordable luxury is not something that we're just seeing at beer companies. We're also seeing it across the board at companies like Starbucks and really banking on that fact here. And so we shall see what happens with the state of beer.
We will see, but one segment of the beer industry that's getting a lot of attention as of late is non-alcoholic beer. We talk about the fact that this market is just exploding. What did we see there? More specifically from Budweiser, but also from a number of the other companies that have reported this earnings season.
Yeah, well, Anheuser-Busch did say, in fact, that their no alcoholic beer portfolio delivered another year of double-digit revenue growth. Now, in fact, Budweiser Zero led the increase there. But what we're seeing across the board is other companies like Heineken, like Constellation Brands, Corona Zero. Other companies are beginning to introduce that non-zero alcoholic brands. They're expecting 5.5% year-over-year growth. That's according to an analytics company. And so what's interesting here is that Gen Z is really looking to this non-alcoholic beer, perhaps at gatherings that they're going to now. But in addition to that, the non-alcoholic beer drinker is not just someone who doesn't drink alcohol. It's actually someone who maybe drinks alcohol often, but sometimes prefers that non-alcoholic beer instead. And so lots of buzz there, I had to say it.
You had to, and it was interesting because that was what was promoted. The only thing that could be sold at the biggest sporting event in the world, the World Cup, because they didn't allow regular beer there. So Bud Zero took center stage. And this was the biggest dry January we've ever seen. If you ask restaurants, bars, they say they saw somewhere around 10% drop off this year. So that trend looks to be continuing. Brooke,
Absolutely.
Thank you. Great stuff.
You.
Enjoy the weekend.